and densely populated areas like here in the Northern Virginia area, stretching all the way up to Southern Maryland, there is a wide and expanse mesh network that is slowly becoming more and more vast and more reliable. Hi, I'm your pal Cal, and today we'll be going over my 2 weeks of testing with the Meshnology N32 Plus, which is a LoRa radio kit that you'll find on Amazon and Meshnology's website, powered by the star face of LoRa radios, the Heltec V3. The Heltec V3, for the longest time, was the face of LoRa radios, and it's been superseded by the Heltec V4, which is arguably, from the time of this video, still my favorite LoRa radio. It's powered by an ESP32S3, it's got very long range, and it's got some really nice reach. Now, when you have a LoRa radio like this, and not only do you help build and contribute to a large-scale mesh network that is subscription-free, which is kind of like one of the main talking points, having a walkie-talkie of sense that can stretch up to like 10 miles with a clear line of sight is a lot more appealing than you might think, specifically in today's climate. Now, I love testing out different LoRa radios, and testing out the Meshnology N32 Plus was actually kind of fun. And the reason why I say that is because this is a perfect minimalist LoRa radio. It is a one-button system, and for those of you guys that don't know, a one-button system is where the entire thing is on one button. The other button is a reset button, but that first button is your select button, your navigation button. It's an entire system based on one button. And before we had this new fancy UI, you had to pair it with your phone. Now, the reason why I like the one-button system is because it acts as an emergency transponder, if you will. If you just so had to use your LoRa radio and had to get a message out, you can navigate on one button. That isn't ideal, but it's still there. Pairing it with your phone, whether it's iPhone or Android, you're good to go. Matter of fact, you could have a CyberDeck and pair it with your CyberDeck, and you can use the web UI. You can connect it to the internet and communicate over MQTT. That is where LoRa radios kind of dive out of that off-grid aspect and go into a much more encrypted way of communicating. And there's a lot of people switching to Meshtastic over, let's say, Signal or Telegram. And believe me when I say the Meshtastic network is worthwhile. There are ways where you can capture those signals, but where we're at today, deciphering them is a whole nother story. This appeals to me. I love anything that is subscription free and is made to help people, like really help people. The Meshtastic network continues to help more and more people and first responders each and every day. You could go hiking and you can get lost. You got a LoRa radio? Well, odds are somebody's going to be able to find you. The Meshnology N32 Plus, though, is not a LoRa radio that comes with a GPS. GPS free. So if you freak out about the aspect of having a GPS, well, this one ain't got one. Now, there's a question a lot about why an off-grid device would need a GPS. It's not the GPS the way you think GPS. A lot of people think GPS and they think tracker. Yes, it can be that, but not in the way that you might think. I would like you to just kind of think about it for a second. This GPS module, let's say the Neo 6M. Do not get this GPS module. Never. Let's bring the ATGM 336H, which is a much better GPS module that you can get for the same price point as that other garbage. So let's go with this one. The ATGM 336H. It's a GPS module. Its job is to connect to satellites and communicate that data to a microcontroller. Let's add a Zhao. Here we go, a Zhao ESP32S3. We now have a microcontroller that's capable of both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and we have a GPS module. Combine them together, and nobody knows where you are. You have just connected to GPS satellites. Basically, what's happening here is the microcontroller is communicating with the GPS module to the satellites to tell you where you are. But nothing is transmitting out to tell anybody else where you are. So you are where you are, but there is nothing to tell anybody else where you are. Now, at the same time, it is possible to build a tracker with a LoRa radio, a GPS module, and a microcontroller. All these together make a LoRa radio with a GPS that can help transmit and become a tracker on the Lora network. And a lot of times you'll find Lora radios with GPSs, and it's not just as a tracker. You can turn that off if you so wish. You don't have to basically transmit to everybody your location. You don't have to do that. There's an option where you can turn that off. But having a GPS module on a Lora radio, for the most part, helps build and strengthen and structure a better mesh. So typically, when you have a GPS module with a Lora radio, it helps pinpoint your location better, transmit your signals better, your messages better, and help distinguish who is actually near you and who isn't. But on the N32 Plus, there is no GPS module. This can also be called a ghost node. You don't have to transmit your location, you don't have a GPS module, and having this type of device is as secure as it gets when it comes to Lora radios. Now, typically I don't like to get political on this channel for obvious reasons, my heritage being number one, the second being it seems like anybody who speaks against tyrants, murderers, and P3DF files, and the governments that fund them get defunded, demonetized, and silenced rather fast. But what I can say to anybody planning to protest is leave your phone at home. Please leave your phone at home. Lora serves as a great alternative for off-grid communicating if you so wish. And it's a great way to organize against tyrants and the people that do not care about how you feel, what you think, or your ideals. Now, free time suggestions aside, let's go on to the size, shape, and form factor. Let me show you exactly why I like this Lora radio. Now, when I test Lora radios, I usually get two of them so that I can do a controlled test against each other. But one thing I want to highlight is this thing is damn near dust and damage proof. It's not waterproof. You know, you do have an exposed USB-C port. I wouldn't recommend, jumping into a creek with this. But I dropped it, I want to say 6 times on accident holding a bunch of boxes, and it fell a good distance, and all it did was pop that socket right there. But that's an easy fix. I just got to go click it out the side and it'll be fine. So as far as durability, this thing does its job and more. Now, as I mentioned, it's a one-button system, so there's only one button. No buttons on the sides, no buttons on the bottom, a USB-C port on the side, and an antenna at the top. Now, if you wanted to put a small stubby whip antenna, I would suggest that, because having a stubby antenna like this could technically crack, but this thing is resilient. Aside from it just being resilient, you can hold it in your hand without accidentally pressing a button. And I know that might not matter to a lot of people, but that was my problem with the N37. I constantly hit the reset button that was right where I would put my thumb. So constantly, I was just reset, da-da-da-da, reset, da-da-da-da. It drove me crazy, man. I don't know why they put it right there. And you'll sometimes find that with the Heltec V4 expansion kit especially, and a lot of people will hit the reset button and then the OK button and accidentally boot their device in Bluetooth DFU mode, which is crazy. This is beyond that. That's kind of a trend here. It's simple, and it stays simple all across the board. So cheap, affordable, and simple while doing its job as efficiently as possible. In my settings, I have it on carousel mode, so every 30 seconds it'll actually switch between tabs. If you hit this reset button, it will reset the device. There is nothing else that we could press besides this right here, which we can navigate by pressing one time, going to the next tab, next tab, next tab. We have no messages currently, hold on. Let's go back and send a preset message. You can set preset messages in the firmware so you can have your own set of messages. I actually, on my first one, put a preset message that said, "I love your face." So let's go next. And we're gonna, right here, we're in the first tab, we're gonna press and hold. And there we go. If we wanna navigate, we click fast. Let's just say hi. And press and hold. And that's it. Your message is sent. Now, if you noticed a second ago, while I was pressing it, I'd sometimes have to press it 2, 3, sometimes 4 times if I did not press hard enough. That's a good and bad thing, because the odds of you pressing the reset button and actually triggering a reset are pretty slim to none. But navigating through it involves a little bit of oomph, if that makes any sense. Like, you actually have to press down pretty hard. Worst case scenario, you connect it to your phone, and when you connect it to your phone, you have your phone's keyboard. Think of this device as a key into the network, and if you have Wi-Fi connectivity, you can connect it through MQTT, or you can activate MQTT using your phone's network, giving you a much more broad network. It's just about 3 inches wide, 3 inches long, and just about a ½ inch thick. And its size, shape, and form factor is what I really love the most about this device. Now, RTTL tones are becoming more and more popular in the community, mostly because of the release of devices like the Wi-Fi Pineapple pager. But did you know that RTTL has been on Meshtastic for quite some time? You can configure your own tones in Meshtastic. If your Lora radio has a buzzer or a speaker, all you gotta do is copy and paste the RTTL tone to your settings tab where the ringtone is. A dear friend of mine named Ghosttech Repair, who I'll link down below, has a simple video on how to do all of this. It's so easy, and so many people don't know that you could actually do this with a Lora radio. That's why that buzzer is there, not for that stock annoying dee-dee-dee-dee that drives me insane every time I hear it. You can hear something from, the golden ages of ringtones and the past, and the same tones that you can use on your Pineapple pager, you can use on Meshtastic, which is pretty cool. There's only one sad thing about this whole conversation. The N32 Plus is a minimalist device. Once again, there is no buzzer. There is nothing except the Heltec V3 and a battery and an antenna. That is literally it. That's it. So that's another thing it does not have. It does not have a buzzer. So if you don't want a buzzer and you don't want a GPS, perfect. So every 2 weeks, I test out a different Lora radio. Obviously, I tried to keep up this trend since, I want to say, 4 months ago, 3 months ago. I lost track now. But I've tested the Heltec V3 against the Heltec V4, against the T-Beam, against the T-Deck, against the Seed Studio SX1262. I've tested so many Lora radios against the Heltec V3. And let me tell you this, man. The Heltec V3, it is the poster child of Lora radios, and that's because its performance is average on a budget. So you do get exactly what you pay for. You get average range, not bullcrap range that you'll find on, let's say, the worst Lora radio that you could ever buy, the LilyGo T-Pager. This thing is garbage. You can get 3 times the distance with a stubby antenna than you can on the T-Pager. And the T-Pager supposedly has 2 antennas, but those antennas are a lie. There's nothing in there. It's an FPC antenna. It's not even a real antenna. This type of marketing drives me crazy. During the range test, the Heltec V3 got a most of 4.5 miles, an average of 3 miles, sometimes 2.8, but for the most part, it did a pretty good job. It did not outperform the Heltec V4. It did not outperform the Seed Studio L1, although it was trailing pretty close. It outperformed the T-Pager by miles, literally, and it outperformed the Wii SX1262 on the Zhao board that we have running Meshtastic, but it outperformed it because it was mostly using an FPC antenna, which is, those ribbon cable antennas. So that was kind of expected. I would say that it would have performed better if it had a regular antenna, because the same chip that we used on the Zhao is the same one that you find in the L1. But the Heltec V3 performs pretty good, especially since, well, it is an ESP32S3, has enough power, had a decent antenna, not the best antenna, and just by all the circumstances, it did its job. The last thing we're going to go over is battery life, and this is kind of controversial. And the reason why I say that is because the N32 Plus has a 3000 milliamp hour battery, the same battery as the N39, and I love the N39. This, I cannot wait till I can go back to this being my everyday carry. Ever since I tested it, I fell in love with it. Battery life, golden. GPS, golden. It's a one-button system. Some people don't like one-button systems, but as a Lora radio, it's a great Lora radio. Great range, great battery life, and I love the size, shape, and form factor. It's, perfect. You can hold it in your hands. It looks like a walkie-talkie. I like that. I like the N32 Plus. It's a simple Lora radio, but you can get better performance and almost the same battery life with the upgraded model. So at the end of the day, it's totally up to you. And keep in mind that the N39 has a built-in GPS, and it performed almost the same when it came to battery life. You can tweak your settings so that, well, it doesn't happen like this. You can have your Lora radios last maybe a 4 or 5 days, sometimes longer, depending on your battery settings, if you have power saving mode on, things of that sort. It's totally up to you. But personally, I do like the N32 Plus. I think it's a cool device, but I would get an N39. It's almost the same battery life. If you're interested in snagging yourself an N32 Plus build kit or an N39 or an N37, I've linked all the links down below to Meshnology's website. It's Meshnology.com. They make some awesome, easy to build kits that, well, anybody can get into Lora. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, consider hitting that subscribe button, liking, sharing, commenting. It helps the channel, it helps me, and honestly, I would appreciate it. Also, if you like videos like this, I've linked some awesome members of the community down below. Check out their channels, man, because they go over really cool stuff all the time. Now, before you click away, hear me out for just a second. Not all heroes wear capes. As a matter of fact, one of my biggest heroes are the open source devs that work night and day to provide awesome custom firmware that help educate and inspire so many people each and every day. And you can support our devs, any dev, if you're using any firmware that's available for any device that you might have gotten and you're enjoying it, consider giving them a star on GitHub. I know it might not seem like much, but it goes an incredibly long way. And if you want to go the extra mile and you're using any of the custom firmware that I've linked down below or on the front page of my channel, consider supporting those devs, because they're awesome, man. Thank you for watching this video. I love you guys very much. I'm your pal Cal, and we'll see you next time.